Wow, this is very exciting. So you can probably tell I'm standing further away than normal. If you've seen my videos before, I can now move forward, I can move back, and I don't have to touch the screen because I've got a little remote control. Yes, I've bought a tripod, hopefully to improve the editing with my films. Normally when you see me standing doing fitness fragrance reviews, I'm balancing you on a candle, I'm balancing you on the television behind me, all sorts of things, a fragrance bottle, whatever. And I thought, why don't I just buy a tripod? And I absolutely love it. It's a 2-in-1 selfie stick. So yes, good evening. We are still going to do a normal fragrance video though. We are going to start just by testing it today. That's what I want to do. By doing a fragrance quiz. I haven't done a fragrance quiz for a while. I wanted to do a few more recently, so I did do one a couple of weeks ago. It's time to do this one again. And I'm going to keep it nice and simple today. We're going to do 10 rounds essentially. 10 rounds. There's going to be one fragrance per round. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to read out 3 fragrance notes. 2 of the notes will actually be in that perfume. Say vanilla, for example, might be in the fragrance. Pineapple might be in the fragrance. But there'll be one that definitely isn't in the fragrance according to Fragrantica. Your job is to pick out which one doesn't exist in that fragrance. So you can have a bit of a guess with this one. Of course, if you know your fragrances and you know that set fragrance, you'll probably be able to pick out the one that doesn't exist in it. But it's only easy if you know. So hopefully you will enjoy this one today. And it's so nice. I don't have to come and press the button and keep editing it out now. I can literally stand miles away and do this. Okay, so let's get on with the first question. I'm going to give you a bit of a trial question just to start with, just so the rules all make sense. So, of course, everyone's favourite fragrance, Dior Sauvage. Dior Sauvage, I've spoken about so many times. I feel like I need a button just saying that word all the time. But essentially here, I'm going to name 3 notes. You have to guess which one doesn't exist in Dior Sauvage. So the 3 notes that have been listed here are in the eau de toilette of Dior Sauvage, bergamot, pepper, or coconut. One of those notes is not in Dior Sauvage. Which one is it? Is it bergamot, pepper, or coconut? I'm going to tell you the answer now. The one that doesn't exist in Dior Sauvage is coconut. Coconut's one of those notes. It's not in a lot of phrases. I feel like it's one that hasn't been utilised enough, in my opinion. The one that always comes to my mind when I think of a fragrance that has it in, it's probably Davidoff Cool Ultra Intense. Really prominent in that. Very, very synthetic. But I absolutely love it. It's a really nice fragrance, a top fragrance. So yes, bergamot and pepper obviously are in Dior Sauvage Eau de Toilette. So I hope that makes sense. Again, these are notes that are listed on Fragrantica. It's not like a scent vibe necessarily, because sometimes fragrances smell of coconut, from a few other accords, but coconut is not listed according to that on the website. So what we'll do then, we'll go into the proper tournament now, and yeah, good luck, and let me know how many you get in the comments below. So let's get on with the first fragrance. We've obviously just spoken about Dior Sauvage. There's always that big rival you have in these fragrances to me. There's always a scent that either tries to copy that one or smells a bit similar that everyone wants to compare to. And probably the one that's most compared to Dior Sauvage, let's be honest, is Bleu de Chanel. We're going to talk about the Eau de Parfum version of Bleu de Chanel here. One of these notes is not in it. So it is incense in it, it's grapefruit in it, it's strawberry in it. One of them's not. Can you tell me which one it is? So which one out of these 3, incense, grapefruit, or strawberry, does not exist in Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum? You don't need much time to guess this. I'm not going to crop you out here. The answer is there's no strawberry. And yeah, let's be honest, strawberry isn't a note that's in a blue fragrance. That's more of a fruity fragrance. If you know Bleu de Chanel, it's a bit more of a grown-up, sophisticated version of blue fragrances, in my opinion. A bit more of a sort of executive person would wear Bleu de Chanel, in my opinion. Incense is super prominent in that, adds a little bit more depth, a bit more complexity. Grapefruit adds probably that little bit of zesty spice. But strawberry, not a massive fan of strawberry in fragrances. You would have seen one of my videos recently. And yeah, it's not in this fragrance. So strawberry is not a note in Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Right, on to question 2. So on to question 2, and this is probably just as iconic a fragrance as the first 2 I've already mentioned, Dior Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel. It is Creed Aventus. Creed Aventus is so expensive, so expensive. I've personally bought clones of this one now. Still not my favourite, but I cannot fault the fact it's so popular. It is an amazing scent in that case, because it's probably going to be around for many, many more years to come. And yeah, you can't knock it. You cannot knock it. So there's 3 notes here listed for Creed Aventus. It is pineapple, birch, or chocolate. One of those notes is not in Creed Aventus. Fragrance enthusiasts, You're probably going to know this one quite easily, but hopefully you can have a guess if you're not sure. But it's pineapple, birch, or chocolate. Which note is not in Creed Aventus? Give you a couple more seconds. You don't need much more time, do you? The answer is there's no chocolate. No, if you know Creed Aventus, you'll know there's no chocolate. This is not really a sweet fragrance for me. This is a very, very versatile scent. Some people say that certain reformulations have had more of a smokiness from the birch. Others have said they're more fruity and you get more of a pineapple. And you honestly get people moaning about the clones. Some are too fruity, some aren't fruity enough. You cannot win. But what you can say is this is a popular scent. If you go and test this out in fragrance shops, I'll be honest with you, normally the tested bottle is empty. Classic scent, iconic scent. Wear it for all situations, dress up, dress down. And yeah, it just brings an element of quality, maturity, and it's Creed's finest in my opinion. Now this one is one of my favourite fragrances. Again, it's an iconic scent and it's from Tom Ford. It is Tobacco Vanille. Tobacco Vanille always reminds me of Christmas time. I just think of sitting around the table with family, sitting in front of the fire. It's cosy, but also it's one you can definitely dress up, suit and tie, and go and make a statement. It's going to get noticed. It's a classic. Again, another fragrance that's been cloned many, many times. So this one's probably going to be really, really easy. I'm sure you will get this one. One of these notes is not in the fragrance. Is it vanilla, watermelon, or tobacco? Which one is not in Tobacco Vanille? Is it vanilla, watermelon, or tobacco? Well, judging by the name, Tobacco Vanille probably gives you a clue that tobacco and vanilla are in this fragrance. There's no watermelon. This isn't a fruity fragrance. To be honest, the tobacco in this isn't really strong either. It's not a smoky tobacco either. It's much sweeter. Brings an element of spice to it, but the vanilla is so prominent. This is the most delicious vanilla fragrance I think out there. And do you know what? I've had a few clones of it. It just doesn't compare to the original. That vanilla note is just so much better in the actual fragrance. You really notice it. Not so much in the air, but up close like that, you definitely do. So well done if you got that one correct. So the next one is, again, another classic. I've gone for the classic scents, hopefully to make it a little bit easier today. And this one I first smelled, I was on a training course doing archery training, rifle shooting training, and yeah, someone who I was staying with in the caravan we were staying at, yeah, he had this fragrance. And I must admit, when he wasn't there, because he was out drinking a lot of the time, I did take this fragrance and gave it a bit of a smell. And I then realised this is a very popular scent DNA. Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, been around for a long, long time, this one, and it's a flanker of the original Le Male. If you don't know Le Male, honestly, you would have smelled it before, but I'm sure you would have smelled Ultra Male. It's a slightly darker bottle, this one, but it's probably just as popular, if not more popular. So the notes here, which one is missing? One of these does not exist in the fragrance. So we have got leather, pear, or cinnamon. One of those is not in Ultra Male. Is it leather, pear, or cinnamon? Which one is not in that scent? The answer is there's no leather. This is known for its pear. The pear in this fragrance is the big selling point. That's why people really like this one. It's not quite as vanillic in my opinion as the original. It's a little bit more youthful, a bit more fruity though, and I actually quite like that. I quite appreciate it. And again, you can get, I believe you can get some clones of this one as well, but definitely the Le Male, original Le Male, is a massive, massive seller. And there's still flankers going out of it today. Le Beau, I think, is another one as well, which is coconut fragrance. And yeah, there's women's fragrances as well that have this Le Male. The bottle is so iconic as well. Everyone recognises the bottle, which is I think why that's why I think they release so many flankers of it, because they know that's a Le Male clone or a Le Male flanker. It's a Le Male scent DNA, which people love. So well done to those who got that right. There is no leather in that one. Let's go for a slightly harder one this time. Now again, if people watching this are probably into their fragrances, they will know this brand. But your average person certainly won't know this brand because it's a little bit more expensive. And that's Parfums de Marly. And of course, they've had loads. Pegasus is a very iconic one. This one is also very iconic. It is Layton. So Parfums de Marly Layton, one of these notes is not in the fragrance. So is it apple, sea salt, or vanilla? So apple, sea salt, or vanilla. My brother's had a clone of this one, and I must admit, I absolutely loved it. It really surprised me. And it will be one that I will do a full review on at some point. So the note that is missing is sea salt. It has no sea salt in it. Yes, I believe off the top of my head, when I smelled this fragrance, it wasn't particularly the vanilla in it that stood out to me. It was the apple. I think the apple was in the top of this fragrance. I think it's a nice green apple, a nice crisp apple. And it's really good. It's high quality. And if you can get the clone from the Essence Vault of this one, definitely recommend it. I'm not a massive fan of apple normally, but in this fragrance, I'm going to make an exception for a top quality one. And yeah, let me know if anyone has tried Parfum Somali and which one you recommend I should try. Speaking of nights out, let's be honest, I'm a little bit old for it now. I'm 30 years old this year, and I certainly don't do nights out. I never did anyway. I'm very, very boring. I'm not going to lie. But a younger person probably isn't going to be wearing Killian's Angel Share. They're probably going to be wearing something a little bit more well known within their own sort of age range. And that one today for this quiz is Versace Eros. Just the eau de toilette here. Again, Versace Eros, a little bit like we said with Lamal earlier. There's been so many flankers of this one. You've had Eros Flame. There's so many more, honestly. And again, I think they've had an eau de parfum, just parfum version of this as well. Absolutely love the Eros bottle as well. Versace, just the logo looks classy to me. Which one of these notes though is not in Versace Eros? So we've got green apple, we've got tobacco, and we've got mint. One of those does not exist in this. Those of you that have this fragrance, you're going to know this one pretty well, I think. So is it green apple, tobacco, or mint? Which one is missing in this fragrance? Yes, there is no tobacco in this fragrance. So I wasn't sure about this one at first. Again, I've smelt this before. I've got a clone of it at the minute, and I did not like it. I was like, no, this isn't for me. The mint, I didn't really detect, and I'm not a massive fan of apple. But once it dries down, those two really combine together well, and it creates this lovely green fragrance. I don't really feel like it's a night out scent as much as other people do, though. I think this is one you can just wear all day, every day in a climate controlled office. My room here is probably about 17, 18 degrees. Absolutely perfect for that. And yeah, tobacco, that it's not in the fragrance, but if it was, it wouldn't be like a smoky tobacco anyway. It'd probably be more of that pipe cherry tobacco, which doesn't need to be in this fragrance because you've got enough going on here with the sweet notes that are in this fragrance. So well done to those of you that got that one correct. So 3 more to go, and I'm going to go for, because I've got 20 down here. We're not doing 20 though, because I haven't got enough time for that. This is just a trial run, remember, but let me know if you'd like me to do another quiz like this in the future. I'll definitely do more quizzes and different themes as well over time, but let's talk about Prada L'Homme. Prada L'Homme is known as this sort of like lipsticky fragrance, but Prada has a very set DNA for me, and it's kind of a soapy smell, but you know, whether it's men's or women's, they just smell high quality. It's like a refined, high quality soap. I love Prada. I've never had a Prada, I've never owned a Prada fragrance. I really need to get one. I really do. My 30th birthday's coming up. I keep mentioning it just to try and give a few hints to family members and all that, that maybe I might want a Prada fragrance. So Prada L'Homme's probably their most well known, and I'm going to give you the 3 notes. One of these obviously is not in it. So is it blueberry, iris, or neroli? Which one of these is not in Prada L'Homme? Is it blueberry, iris, or neroli? Well, there's definitely iris. Iris is the main thing in this Prada fragrance. It kind of gives you that lipsticky vibe. Neroli is as well, and that gives a bit of a soapiness. I always think neroli is a little bit of a soapy note. It's the blueberry that's not in it. Yes, this isn't really a fruity fragrance. Blueberry, don't really see it in fragrances, do you? You get a bit more of like a blackcurrant smell, but blueberry, I suppose, what is blueberry as a smell? I think if it's blueberry, a little bit like strawberry in fragrances, I think they can be a little bit too synthetic if you actually try to put it in as a note. Let me know though, if anyone does know any blueberry fragrances, blueberry heavy fragrances where you can really detect it, I'd love to try, because I don't know of any particular. But yeah, I'd love to try. Even if it's a women's fragrance, I'd definitely look to buy that one. But yeah, it unfortunately is not in Prada L'Homme. So the next one. Now, I believe that this line had a bit of controversy when a 2020 release came out, but please correct me if I'm wrong with that. But it's Dior Homme Intense. Now, I've never owned Dior Homme, but I think there was a Dior Homme 2020 that people said was just not very good. But Dior Homme Intense has always been a very popular night out intimate fragrance. I don't think it's one of the strongest fragrances out there, but apparently the notes, the smell of it is very seductive. So hopefully that'll give you a bit of a clue in terms of what is in this fragrance and maybe what isn't in this fragrance. Now, we've already spoken about one of these notes a minute ago. We've got iris, pineapple, or cocoa. One of these is not a note in Dior Homme Intense. Which one is it? Iris, cocoa, pineapple. They're the 3 notes. One of them's not in it. So the answer is there's no pineapple. Again, pineapple I don't think is for those intimate settings. when I've had pineapple in fragrances, I've got a few at the moment from Zara. It's very strong, very, very strong in the opening. It's almost like sweet, juicy pineapple, which again, I don't find that seductive. It's bright, it's inviting, it's quite youthful, but honestly, when I've had them, they've been really strong and then they've just completely faded away. If you want to get close to someone, you're going to have those sweeter notes, and obviously, Iris brings that slopey lipstick vibe, and the cocoa chocolate is used a lot in those sort of date night fragrances. And yeah, pineapple, not so much here. So yeah, well done to those of you that got that right. I haven't tried Dior Homme Intense, and I feel like it's one that I should try. Just again, it's been so mass done, and I quite like to find those ones that are a little bit different. But let me know if it's one you recommend I should buy. Right, we're going on to the last one now. So the final one is a bit more again of a niche brand. Those of you that know your fragrances will know this brand absolutely fine, but again, most people won't. But you can find these. These are fragrances that you can definitely smell in high-end shops, high-end perfume shops. You go to like a Selfridges in London, I'm sure they'll have them. I know Liberty in London definitely have them, or you would have seen them in certain shops before. And it's Maison Margiela, and the most popular one is Replica by the Fireplace. So which one of these notes really represents or doesn't represent the smell of the fireplace? Because that is going to be probably the answer. Giving you a big clue there. Is it vanilla, banana, or chestnut? So which fragrance note is not in By the Fireplace by Maison Margiela? Vanilla, banana, or chestnut? Well, as you probably guess, it's the fruity one. It doesn't really replicate the smell of a fireplace, does it? Banana. Banana is in fragrances, but again, like we were saying a little bit more with blueberry earlier, what is the smell of banana? When I think of like banana in other things, in like food products, like a banana milkshake, it doesn't taste like an actual banana, does it? It doesn't really have a smell banana like some other fruits. And yeah, it is in perfumery, but it's almost used in combination to add more of a tropical vibe, which doesn't really represent sitting by a fireplace, does it? And that is it for today. I'm loving using this clicker, by the way. And yeah, I hope this one is a little bit better in terms of the editing. I'm hoping I'm not shaking too much at the screen where I'm standing around. Hopefully my voice is a bit clearer. But yeah, hopefully now when you see some of my videos, the editing will be a little bit better. I might even use the selfie stick to talk at the start of some of my videos. But thank you very much for watching today. Let me know also your scores that you got in the quiz. Hopefully it was a little bit easier than some of the other ones I've done before. But really enjoyed doing this. Really enjoyed asking ChatGPT to do most of the work for me, but also looking up some of these fragrances and getting more of an idea of some of the scent DNA. Because let's be honest, a lot of our choices, a lot of our purchases are influenced by the notes that are in them, and also maybe what isn't in them. So now you know what fragrances don't have certain notes in, and hopefully that might help you when you're looking to buy some clones or these actual fragrances in isolation. But thank you very much for watching today, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you some more quizzes and fragrance videos soon.